Eridadi Mukwanga, Uganda first silver medalist, boxing, Olympic Games of 1968 in Mexico. As we are moving closer to the next Olympic Game of 2021 in Tokyo, let's look at Ugandan men and women who carry the Olympic flag since we got independent. Those who made Uganda what it is should be placed in the history book of Uganda. We know that many of those talented sons and daughters contributed to lift our name high during the Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games, All African Games, and marathons since we got independent. Wangoo, the fireplace, will make sure that none of them is forgotten, that their service to Uganda is honored. Many states in Africa are not doing enough to support our men and women. They are not fully recognized, and they are not getting the recognition they deserve like other countries around the world. We all know that at the moment there is a deep divide within our people. And we seem not to understand, and we seem not to know how to reward these talented men and women. And what they did to uplift the name of Uganda. Most of our Olympic medalists end up in a place they shouldn't be. We have a social breakdown in our society that is being ignored by those in power, and people are divided in groups of those with power and those without power, even though we are all contributing to the welfare of the same state. We are in a very dangerous zone. We don't love one another anymore. The poor are bitter. The privileged want it all. Most people lived on a small favor from those in power. Those with wealth, which has turned into a dangerous game and a dangerous road we are traveling today. In just a dangerous road, you cannot avoid sudden accident to happen. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss the source of your daily news on Uganda. Let me be clear and let's get started. Eridadi Mukwanga was a Ugandan boxer, silver medalist at the 1968 Summer Olympics in Mexico City, the first athlete that represented Uganda to win an Olympic medal. Eridadi was born in Kaunda in the eastern Uganda region of Busoga. He died in 1998. The circumstances and exact date of his death is unknown. He will be remembered as the first man who won the first Olympic silver medal in Uganda. At the age of 25, he was a Ugandan oldest participant at the Olympic Games of 1968, held in Mexico City from mid to late October. At the Olympics, Eridadi Mukwanga, a 5.3 tall bantamweight, was in second round, pitted against a 5.6 Ramiro. Sosa. Ramiro Suarez Garcia of Spain. He easily knocked out Suarez in the second round. In the next bout, Mukwanga defeated and disposed of a short 5-meter Romanian opponent, 𝐂𝐈𝐿𝐼 by knocking him out in the second round. Then came the quarterfinal, and Mukwanga convincingly beat a 20-year-old Roberto Cervantes of Mexico by 4.1. In the semi-final, Mukwanga outpointed Jiangsu Seal of South Korea by 4.1. The final against the Russian Valerian Sokolov, the bout was stopped late in the second round in favor of the Russian Sokolov. Mukwanga was defeated by a Russian Sokolov, and he proudly flew back to Uganda with a silver medal hanging from his neck. Wangoo, as I said before, the fireplace, is on a mission to honor all of our people for their contribution in developing Uganda. And we are going to honor all those who are contributing in the long walk to freedom. Since we got independent, a lot of people have been contributing in the development of Uganda in their own ways. We are going to make sure that all of them have a place and a lasting memories in Wangoo, the fireplace. We are now looking at Olympic achievement, but the list will expand as we move on. The Olympic of 1968 proved to be the picking point in Mukwanga boxing career. At that moment, Uganda was just 6 years old after independence. The next major international game, the boxing, came with the Commonwealth Game of Summer 1970, held in Edinburgh, Scotland. Mukwanga was eliminated in the very first round of the Bantam division, losing to Joe Cook of Canada by point. Joe Cook was later knocked out by Stewart Ogilvie of Scotland when the referee halted the boots in the first round. In the semi-final, Stewart Ogilvie of Scotland was stopped in the second round, with the referee stopping the boots in favor of gold medalist 𝐂𝐢𝐈𝐻 of Ghana. It was disappointing that Mukwanga was the first Ugandan boxer to fall in this Commonwealth game in which Uganda overwhelmingly established themselves as Commonwealth boxing champion. Uganda was known for their role. It's known in their role. And it was a pity that it was put out so fast. And today, we are trying to remember the first man, the first medalist who put Uganda, who put the name of Uganda in the world map. We all know that in that Commonwealth Games, the final tally would include people like James Oduori, Mohamed Muruli, and Benson Masanda, securing gold medals for Uganda, and Leo Robogo and Deogracius Musoke claiming silver medals. After the defeat of Mukwanga in Scotland, he faded away from the boxing scene. And like his fellow Ugandans, Olympic medalists, like Leo Rabogo, John Akibua, John Mugabe, and Davis Kamoga, Eridadi Mukwanga, after his losses in Scotland in 1970, disappeared from the press and the public eye. This is a common sickness in Africa. We only care for our men and women, sport men and women, when they're winners. The moment you start losing, you are thrown to the wolf. It is time, as I said before, we know what is going on. We know what had been happening to our people. We know that the state didn't take care of these great sons and daughters of Uganda the way they should have been taken care of. If you look at other countries, they took care of their own sport men and women, even if they lose. They become important symbol in their own state. They become a role model to help the young generations join sport and move on to safeguard the pride and the name of their country. But for us, as African, the moment you start losing, you have to dance with the wolf. And that is not a pretty dance. Greed, jealousy is destroying talents in Africa. If we don't wake up today and turn the tide, our great men and women will keep suffering the same way those who didn't find their way ended up in a bad place. We have to turn the tide. Let's do something to safeguard our sportmen and women and give them a place in our society. Let's agree, let's accept that they are people who contributed in building up Uganda, in making Uganda what it is today. They contributed to the well-being of our state and should be recognized and uplifted when they are in trouble. We have to build a mindset that allow the left hand to lift the right hand. Once you are a person who contributed to the welfare, to the well-being of a state, you should be recognized. No matter how small the contribution is, it develops a state. Once we consider all those people to be heroes, we can then start to honor their contribution, no matter how small that contribution is. It is time that we look back and accept that we did nothing to uplift those who serve us during independence. We know once we come to power, we want to get rid of whatever is associated with that person in power at that moment. That is a wrong move. Thank you for listening. And remember, I will be back.